Okay, everybody, welcome. We're going to get into a little bit of a yoga flow with some yin added on for fun on this stormy day. I have a couple of partners with me, Mr. Handsome Matt, and for security we have Nero, in case anything gets out of control here. And we're going to have some fun. So when you're ready, get on your mat. We're going to start off nice and relaxed on our backs, just to get centered. So come down onto your back. Relax there for the first minute or so. Make it nice and comfy. Close the eyes. Relax the shoulders, find your breath, so find that big powerful inhale, nice relaxing exhale, and then start to soften the body, soften the breath. And just slowly finding some grounding before we find our movement. Just working on that full inhale. Belly's going to expand, the ribs, chest on the way in. Maybe a slight pause at the top and then a nice slow exhale, just easing into the practice. From here, let's squeeze the legs together. So press the insides of the legs together, push the toes away, and then we're going to reach the arms up, interlacing the fingers, except for those index fingers. Drop the arms behind you, and then just relax here. So soften everything, no tension, no pressure. And then on your next inhale, squeeze the legs together, push the toes away, so point them, reach the fingers behind you, arms come close to the ears. As you exhale, completely relax. And do 4 or 5 more of those, going at your own pace. Stretching in opposite directions. Nice, slow warm up. Getting the blood flowing through the body. Still coordinating with the breath. And wherever you are, just do one more. Big inhale, big exhale. And then as we exhale, arms are going to come out to the sides of the shoulders like a T. Bending at the knees, feet are flat. Slow windshield wiper, side to side. So these are slow motion, coordinating with the breath. So as you inhale, knees are going to come up from one side, all the way over to the other side. Slight pause, and then exhale, reversing everything back the other way. Head's going to always turn opposite direction of the knees. Eyes are closed, shoulders are relaxed. Nice, slow movements. One more each side. Next time you come up to center, relaxing here, lifting the right foot up, cross it over the left knee, squeeze the space out between the legs. If you can hook your toes under, hook your toes under. Relaxing here, big breath in, on the exhale, dropping everything to the right, and then gently turning your head to the left. Taking all the tension out of the upper body, out of the face, especially the jaw, especially the shoulders. Next, inhale, keeping the legs in the same position, bring them up and drop them over to the left. Head turns to the right. Next inhale, back to center, releasing. Other side, left foot's going to come over the right knee. If you can hook the toes under, hook them under. Relaxing here, big breath in. On the exhale, everything goes to the left. Head turns to the right. So soon as you settle in, close your eyes, work with your breath. Relaxing here. Next inhale, legs come up, keeping them interlaced, drop them over to the right, head turns to the left. One more big breath. Exhale, releasing, back to center, unwinding the legs. We're going to find bridge pose. So for bridge pose, keep the knees bent, hands come down next to your hips, press the fingertips in next to your hips. Feet are about hip distance wide, then walk the heels in close to your hips as best as you can. Relax here. On your next inhale, just tilt the pelvis, slowly start lifting it up, peeling it off the mat. The goal here, try to get your hips up as high as you can to the ceiling. Maybe coming up on your tippy toes, maybe walking your feet in a little closer. Option here, interlace your fingers underneath, reaching the knuckles towards your heels. One more big breath. Releasing the hands if they're interlaced, drop them back down, and then slowly reversing everything, coming back down with your back, with your tailbone, relaxing here. Next inhale, we're bringing the soles of the feet up to the ceiling, up to 90 degrees. Same thing, you can just press your fingertips into the mat. Take a big inhale here. On the exhale, coming from 90 degrees, coming down to 60. So coming down 1/3 of the way. If you're looking for a little challenge, you can just float your hands off the mat. Next exhale, coming down 2/3 of the way. So coming from 60 degrees to 30 degrees. Squeezing your core here. Engaging your muscles. And then last big inhale. Exhale, float the heels down, taking your time. Nice and slow. Once you're there, relax. Take a couple of relaxing breaths here. Now from here we're going to do some spinal rolls, coming up to boat pose. So if you're comfortable with spinal rolls, we're going to do 5 or 6, reaching behind the knees, rounding your back as best as you can. Bring your forehead up towards your knees, and then just press the heels down, starting that initial motion. Take a plow pose as you come back. Do them nice and slow. Keeping the head up towards the knees as best you can. And then on the last one, find boat pose. So try not to slouch in the position. You can stay with your hands behind the knees. You can go low, medium, or you can go high. And you can do the exact same thing, releasing. You can go low, medium, or you can come up high. So find what works for you. We're just going to do a few breaths. Last breath in. Slow release, dropping the heels down, finding tabletop. Hands and knees. Make this comfortable, taking the right leg out, parallel to the floor, pressing through the heel. Opposite arm, left arm comes out. Big inhale. Exhale, we're scrunching everything down. Elbow comes to the knee. Inhale, back out. Exhale comes down. Inhale out. Last exhale. Inhale back out. If you can find the bind, you're going to take the left hand, find that right foot, connect. Otherwise, just stay out straight. Opposite arm and hand to the opposite foot. Last breath in and out. Slow release to the other side. Left leg out, right arm. Spreading the fingers wide, finding your balance here. Once everything feels okay, find a big inhale. Exhale, bring everything down, rounding your spine. Elbow passes the knee. Inhale, back out. Reaching actively opposite directions, pressing through the heel. Exhale. Inhale, this is the last one. Last exhale. Bringing it back out straight. Option to bind here, right hand connects with the left foot this time. One more breath in. Slow release, coming back down. Let's find child's pose. Just taking a couple of breaths here. Open the knees wide. Sit the hips back. Stretch the arms out. From here, spreading the fingers wide, bringing the hips forward a bit, tucking the toes under. First, downward facing dog. Big inhale, hips come high. Pedal the feet back and forth, reaching the heels down. So think about the chest coming towards the thighs. Palms are pulling away from you, they're pushing. The toes and the balls of the feet are going in the opposite direction. Then find stillness in your down dog for one full breath. Looking between your hands, next inhale, walk slowly back, feet come up towards the hands. Keep the inhale coming all the way up. Find a flat back here. Exhale, coming down. Finding ragdoll. And when you're ready, big inhale. Spreading the arms out wide. Extended mountain pose. Exhale. Hands come down through heart center. Relaxing here. Big inhale. Let's come all the way up again. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale, flat back. Big long exhale, plant. Elbows graze the ribs as you work your way down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, next downward dog. Hips come high. Inhale, right leg up to the ceiling, nice and high. Press those palms away. Dropping it back down, other side. Inhaling that left leg up. Dropping it down. Next inhale, looking up between your hands, walking up. Keep going, finding that flat back. Exhale, dropping into your ragdoll. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up. Exhale, down through heart center. Relaxing here. From here, we're going to inhale, coming up into chair pose. So bring your feet a little closer. Maybe the toes are touching. So sweeping the arms all the way up, and then sitting back, just as if you're sitting in a chair. So take the weight into your heels, and sit as low as you want. Relax the shoulders. Even though you're reaching, you're trying to relax. Pinkies might just turn in slightly. Hands are going to come to a prayer position here. Now you can stay here, or we're going to twist to the right. Angeli to the right. Elbow might come down, find that twist. Connecting the left elbow and the outside of that right leg. Gaze can be at the floor, can be at the wall beside you on the right, or you might look over that top elbow up at the ceiling. A little more of a challenge. Keep the knees lined up here. Inhaling back to center, exhaling to the left. Next inhale, back to center. Exhale, we're going to come all the way up, sweeping, and then relaxing here, coming back down into our relaxation pose here. Arms are out. Getting ready for the next set. Big inhale, sweeping, extended mountain. Exhale, hinging. Big inhale, flat back. Exhale, you can walk or jump back. Elbows are in tight as you come all the way down. Inhale, coming up, rolling the shoulders back, chest comes through. Exhale, tuck the toes, coming high, down dog. Inhale, right leg up this time, nice and high. Exhale, brings it down and through. Dropping that left heel, squaring your hips to the front, arms come up, warrior one. So finding a nice bend in that front leg. Shoulders are relaxed. Gaze is normally up through the hands if you're comfortable with that. Sinking down into the pose, finding that heel to heel alignment. From here, we're going to twist from warrior one to warrior two. So find that adjustment. One little adjustment, you're going to bring both feet to the middle of the mat. This is heel to arch alignment. Both arms are coming up parallel. Your gaze comes over your front middle finger, relaxing the shoulders. Next inhale, we're going to drop that left hand down onto the thigh, or you might wrap it behind. Palm's going to flip up, reaching up, reverse warrior. Always your gaze can be at the floor or the wall in front of you, or a little more of a challenge, looking up at the hand. Next inhale, back to warrior two. And then slow transition, dropping that front forearm down. Left arm's going to come up high, and then keep it coming to the front. Finding your breath here, big inhales, big exhales. And then reversing that left arm all the way back to warrior two, coming up here. We're going to drop the arms behind us, interlace the fingers. As we do that, the knuckles are going to reach down to the floor, roll the shoulders back, gaze comes up. exhale, humble warrior, coming to the inside of that front knee. Arms can reach up as best as you can behind you. Next inhale, coming back up, releasing the hands. Back to warrior two. We're going to straighten that front leg. On our next inhale, slowly going to lean forward, finding triangle. Front arm drops down, maybe to a block, maybe to your ankle, the floor, and then reaching way up. You can line your arms up. Same thing here, gaze can be at the floor, or you can challenge yourself looking up at the fingertips. Both legs are straight. Keep the breath going, opening the chest. Next inhale brings us back up. Warrior two, bending that front leg. Big inhale here. Exhale, both arms come back to the front. Find your vinyasa. Inhale, finding that up dog. Exhale, tucking, down dog. When you're ready, inhaling that left leg up, nice and high. Exhale, bringing it forward. Dropping the right heel this time. Finding warrior one. So heel to heel alignment. Both hips are facing the front of the mat. Shoulders relax. Pinkies might face in a tiny little bit. Now think about that back foot, that far edge. See if you can press that into the mat. Keep the breath going. One more big inhale. Both feet kind of shimmy to the middle of the mat as we make that transition on the exhale to warrior two. This is heel to arch, shoulders relax, hips are opening up to that long side of the mat. Relax into it, soften the pose. Gaze is over your front finger. Flip that front palm, drop that back arm down onto the thigh or hamstring, or wrap it around, reaching up, reverse warrior. Breathing into it. Next inhale brings us back to warrior two. Exhale, arm comes down, side angle pose. Arm comes up and then reaches to the front. Gaze can be at the floor or challenge, looking up at your arm or your hand. If you have the bind, you can always find the bind in your practice here. Next inhale brings us back up, warrior two. Exhale, dropping the arms behind us, interlacing. Reaching the knuckles down, roll the shoulders back, looking up as we inhale. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Left shoulder comes inside that left knee, humble warrior. Next inhale brings us back up, releasing the hands, finding that warrior two here, straightening that front leg, relaxing here. On your next inhale, slowly reaching those fingertips forward, body leans, and then dropping that front arm, finding your triangle pose. So with your twisted postures, it's a little harder to breathe, so a little extra emphasis on the breath in and out. Try and keep that front leg as straight as you can. Opening up the chest on the right side here. Next inhale brings the arms back up. Warrior two, bending that knee, and then just bringing both arms back, finding your vinyasa flow here. Left foot comes back, exhale, coming down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale up, exhale, down dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. Next inhale, let's bring that right leg up. Opening the hips, so we're just going to bend over that right leg, bend at the knee. If you have wild thing in your practice, you can drop all the way back onto the tippy toes of that right foot. Next inhale brings us back to three-legged dog. Right leg up. Exhale, bring it down, coming into the other side. Left leg comes up nice and high. Bending at that left knee, opening the hips, or coming back, finding wild thing. Up on the tippy toes of that left foot this time. One more big breath in and out. Next inhale brings us back to three-legged dog. Left leg is up. Exhale brings it down. Finding one last breath cycle here. On the exhale, dropping the knees. Taking a little break, finding child's pose. From here, we're going to work our way into a plank to strengthen the core. So we're going to do 30 seconds on, and then 30 seconds break, and 30 seconds back on. You have the option of staying in for as long as you want. So if you want to stay in for the whole 90 seconds, or 45 seconds and take a little break, so it's up to you. I'll call it out every 30 seconds anyway. So you can do a plank on your knees, hands under the shoulders, plank on your knees. You can do a forearm plank, elbows under the shoulders, toes are tucked, lifting the hips up, or the normal push-up plank, looks like a push-up, hands are under the shoulders, toes are tucked. So pick one of those three variations, and we're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So most important thing here is to really close your eyes and bring the breath inside, bring the focus inside. There's 15 seconds gone. If you're coming down in 30 seconds, you're coming down in 3, 2, 1. Take a break for 30 seconds. If you're staying up with us, stay up. Coming to the halfway point, 45 seconds. So the breath gets more and more important here. Deeper inhale, slower exhale. Coming up to the 1 minute mark, so if you're taking a break, you're coming back into it in 3, 2, 1, last 30 seconds. So just be aware of that shallow breath. Try not to breathe like 1 second in, 1 second out. Really take your time. Last 15 seconds, just a couple of breaths. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your time coming down. Find your recovery pose. So stack the hands, drop your forehead down, maybe bending at the knees, reverse windshield wiper, giving the body a little break. From here, we're going to pick an inversion. We're going to practice an inversion for about a minute or a minute and a half. So if you can do crow pose or crane pose, that'll be nice. Downward dog is an inversion. Child pose is really gentle. You can do ragdoll pose, wheel pose, headstand, handstand, forearm stand, tripod headstand. There's a whole bunch that you can practice. So pick one. I'm going to work on crow pose. I'm going to bring you through crow pose. What are you going to do, Matt? Scorpion. Matt's going to do scorpion. So scorpion is really nice, more of an advanced pose, but really nice, really good pose to build the strength in the body also. So you'll see two different options here. He's going to do scorpion, so it's like a forearm stand, bringing the legs back. I'm going to work on crow. So if you're working on crow, spread the fingers super wide. This is good to build arm strength in the body and in the chest and the shoulders. So starting whenever you're ready, just if you're coming into downward dog or any of the other ones, just come into it for 30 seconds. Take a little break if you want. Crow pose, I'm going to dig my elbows into my knees, and then I'm going to oppose the force, bringing my knees into my elbows. And then think of a seesaw or a teeter-totter when you're a kid. You're going to try and find that balance point by leaning forward. If you don't have the strength, you can just lift one foot up. So I'll demonstrate just coming forward in the pose, lift one foot up, and then come back, lift the other foot up. The power is in your fingertips, so you really need to find that springy motion in your fingertips. And the strength of your fingertips prevents you from falling over. So find that spot, and then if you feel okay, you can lift both feet up off the mat. And then relaxing. We're going to come to a seated position. Starting to come into a few yin poses here. So let's find seated easy pose, Sukhasana. So just crossing the legs. If you have half lotus or full lotus in your practice, this is a good chance for it here, a good opportunity to use it. So just sitting here, finding some strength in the back, so we're sitting nice and tall, roll the shoulders back and down. We're going to take the right arm out, straight in front of us, and then swing the left arm under and hook. From here, an easy option if you're super tight, just twist to the left. Otherwise, finding eagle arms, connecting the hands, lifting the elbows, close the eyes. And then an option here to hinge forward on an exhale. So a little deeper option here, opening the shoulders and the lower back at the same time, as well as the hips. So big inhale in, expands all that tight connective tissue in the back and the shoulders. Next inhale brings us back up. Releasing the arms, give them a gentle shake. Switching the position of your feet. So we're balancing everything out, giving all the joints an even stretch. Left arm comes out, right arm's going to swing under, hook. First option, you can twist to the right, or you can connect the hands, finding eagle arms, reaching the elbows up. Relaxing here, sitting nice and tall and strong. And then on your next exhale, if you want to fold forward, deepening your pose, hinging at the hips, relaxing once you get there. Now think about softening the pose, any tension in your neck. If you're clenching your jaw muscles, try to relax the face. Make sure the breath is deep. Next inhale brings us up. We're going to find reverse tabletop for 5 breaths. So plant the feet down. Everything's about hip distance apart. Hands are going to come under the shoulders with your fingers facing forward. They can be out to the side or backwards, doesn't matter. The goal here is just to find some strength in the body. So just start off by lifting up the hips and then start to drop the head back. Makes it easier to breathe. And then lift the belly button and the hips as high as you can go. Really nice stretch for the chest and the shoulders. 3 more breaths. Finishing off 1 big breath. Slow exhale, release coming down. Once your hips touch, find butterfly pose, so Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet connect. Now if your heels are in really close, it's more of a triangle shape between your legs, so let's bring the heels out a little further. We're looking for a diamond shape. Now as we hinge at the hips and fold, you can be really passive here, nice yin stretch just by relaxing, or kind of an intermediate stretch if you want to grab onto your feet, your toes, your ankles, and something a little deeper. If I reach my hands between my legs and slide them out next to my feet, pop my feet up and grab under my feet, just a little deeper variation. I don't want to hold too much tension here, so try and relax. Close your eyes, starting to connect with the breath. One more big breath in and out. Exhale, release, coming up. I'm going to stretch both legs out, finding staff pose, Dandasana. And let's activate the pose. So we're going to push out through the heels, squeeze the legs together a little bit, sitting nice and tall. I'm not slouched. I'm going to roll my shoulders back and down, plant my hands into the mat very gently, pushing up, finding a little bit of height. Then relaxing here for a breath. So from Dandasana, we're going to find the transition to Paschimottanasana. So we're going to inhale, sweep all the way up nice and high. Exhale, fold. Passive version, I'm just going to relax into it. Something a little more dynamic. I might grab onto it behind my ankles, my calves, grab my toes, sides of my feet. So you just want to feel a nice stretch. When you find the stretch that you're looking for here, whether it's gentle or something a little deeper, close the eyes, breathing into it. One more big breath in and out. Exhale. As I come up, I'm going to slide my right foot along with me. I'm going to tuck it inside. So my right foot's tucked inside. This is Janu Sirsasana. And now I'm going to turn my shoulders towards that long, outstretched leg, planting my fingertips down, and then just start to walk out until you feel a stretch that works for you. So same as before. Passive stretch here, just relax. A little more active, you might be reaching under your leg and grabbing, or if you can reach your foot, grab your foot. One more big breath. Exhale, slow release coming up. Now we're going to take that foot and tuck it behind us. So to do that, I want to take all the pressure off the right side of my body. So I'm going to lean over onto my left forearm, and I'm just going to grab that right foot and then just bring it behind me. Now your knees may be together or they may be open, whatever feels comfortable. So really listen to your body here, your knee, especially your thigh muscles, your hip flexor muscles. Lean back into your hands. Now some people who've been doing yoga a long time can come right down onto their backs, as well as those who are naturally flexible. So if you're not one of those, start coming back in stages. So finding your hands, maybe your left forearm, see how that feels, and then your right hand. And you're just going to stop wherever you feel a good stretch. Maybe the right forearm, so you're down on both forearms. You might come back down onto your bolster. If you have a cushion or a pillow behind you, yoga bolster, come down and relax on that. Otherwise, if you still have room, just start to open up the elbows away from your body like the way that a bird opens its wings. Same thing, controlling the descent with the strength of your upper body. One more breath. Slowly working your way back up. As you come up, bring all your body weight to the left. Swinging that right foot forward. Lean back into your hands. Give the legs a little roll. Give the ankles a little roll. Squeeze the toes. Just getting the blood flowing again. And then coming right into the other side. So tucking the left foot to the inside. Same thing again. We're going to drop the fingertips down and then walk them out. So you can stay here, passive version, or you can grab onto your leg somewhere, finding a little deeper variation. Close the eyes, softening the pose just a little bit. Checking back in with your breath. Make sure that you're really stretching out that inhale and exhale. Last breath in and out. Exhale, slowly releasing, coming up. Now we want to get that left foot behind us, so lean over into your right forearm. Bring it back. Sitting back up. And then same as before, listening to your body, working your way down. So just going down as far as you want. Starting off with your right hand, left hand, and then coming down right forearm. Left hand, left forearm. And then just coming back, working your way down. If you want to come down lower, keep coming down. Last couple of breaths on this side. Now remembering, as we start to unwind from this pose, we want to take the pressure off of that bent knee, so leaning all the way over to the right, onto that forearm, bringing that leg forward. Give the legs a little roll. Same with the ankles and the toes. And from here, we're going to transition over into tabletop pose. So hands and knees. Now from here, we're going to close the knees together. We're going to do some therapy for the feet. So I'm going to flatten my feet out behind me, so my toes are flat. And we're we're going to do 30 seconds on the timer. So if you're really tight, lean forward. It's a little harder if you're vertical. And if you lean back, it's harder. So 30 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1. So just like plank pose, it's a little easier if you kind of bring the focus inward, closing the eyes, focusing on nothing but your breath. Last 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and then we tuck underneath. So this is the harder one. Tucking under, starting 30 seconds now. Same thing, lean forward if your toes are really tight. Leaning back if you have a little more flexibility in the feet. Last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leaning forward, giving the tops of the toes a little release, maybe patting them back and forth like a drum. And then we're going to find a little balance pose. So we're going to come up on the balls of the feet. Have your feet hip distance apart, maybe a little wider. Elbows are going to press into the knees and finding that Anjali, that prayer position here. Now you can push the elbows out a little bit if you want. Think about relaxing your shoulders. If you're sitting way down low towards the floor, think about coming more upright. And this can be very playful. If you want to play with the pose, you can close your eyes halfway or 3/4 or maybe all the way. Having some fun with the balance. Last couple of breaths. Next exhale, fingertips drop down, knees drop down. We're going to find tabletop, and we're going to work it more towards the middle of the mat where our toes are kind of towards the end of the mat in the back. So from here we're going to find puppy pose. In Yin we call it melting heart. So keeping the knees under the hips, walk the upper body out so the arms come nice and long. Maybe your thumbs touch, maybe you bring one hand on top of the other and then sink down, arching the back, dropping the chest. Feeling the stretch here. For those of you that need more of a stretch in the triceps, you can find prayer hands, drop the elbows down, bring those prayer hands behind your neck. Wherever you are, releasing the arms back out. If you were working on the elbow stretch, the tricep stretch, bring them back out for one more breath. On the exhale, we're going to drop to the forearms. Walk your hands back in about 6 inches. We're going to stay on that left forearm as we inhale that right arm into a twist all the way up to the ceiling. And then threading the needle, bringing that right hand underneath the left arm. Use the power of your fingertips to bring your upper body into a big twist to the left. And then flip that right palm to the ceiling. And then start to drop that right shoulder down. Now you can stay here, or you can wrap that left arm around your back if you want. Just taking a few breaths here before we balance into the other side. One more full breath in and out. is wrapped, bring that forearm back down to the mat. As we inhale, resetting that right arm all the way back up to the ceiling in a big twist. And then dropping it down. Now we're on the right forearm. Inhaling the left arm up, big twist. Exhale, bring that left hand underneath. Flip the palm up, drop that left shoulder down. Option to wrap your arm around. Breathing into it, connecting with that breath. So remember, if you're wrapping that arm around, those fingertips are eventually reaching for that hip crease. Opening that chest up in the twist. Finishing off, one more big breath. If your arm is wrapped, bring it back down, right forearm's down. Inhaling that left arm all the way back up into a big twist. And then dropping that left hand down. Back to tabletop. We're going to bring our tabletop to the front of the mat, finding pigeon pose. So bringing it all the way up to the front. This is sleeping swan pose in yin. So we're going to start with pigeon or sleeping swan with the right leg first. So most of you know how to come into it already, so just come into your pigeon on the right side. For everybody else, we're going to slide that right knee along the mat until we bump into the right wrist. Stretch that left leg out, tuck the toes, and then just swing that right foot to the opposite side of the mat. Trying to get it over to the left as best as you can. Drop the left knee down, stretch those toes out, and then just coming down as far as you're comfortable. So that might be your forearms, maybe you're stacking your hands, or you might stretch out like child's pose. Last couple of breaths on this side. Getting ready, knowing that our transition is through downward facing dog. So when you're ready, hands are going to plant underneath your shoulders. You're going to tuck the toes on that long outstretched left leg. On your inhale, right leg comes all the way up high. Three-legged dog to the ceiling. Exhale, just drop that foot down. Taking a couple of breaths here. Working the heels up and down, pedaling the feet. And when you're ready, inhale, left leg comes all the way up high. Exhale, as we bring that knee up towards that left wrist, swing the foot to the other side. Dropping the right knee down, stretch those toes out long. And then gently working your way down, listening to your body all the time. Find your forearms coming down as low as you want. Last couple of breaths. Getting ready for downward dog. So when you're ready, planting the hands under the shoulders. Next inhale, that left leg comes up high to the ceiling. And then on the exhale, that foot comes down next to your right foot. Relax here, taking a couple of breaths. So your hands are pushing away to the front, your feet pushing away to the back. Reaching the heels down. Last big breath in. Exhale, the knees gently start to work their way down. Finding child's pose. Taking a few breaths here. From your child's pose, we're going to slowly transition onto our backs. We're going to find happy baby for a few breaths before we find our Shavasana. So taking as much time as you need from child's pose, working your way slowly onto your back. Reaching up, grabbing the feet. If you can't reach your feet, grab behind your knees. And then relaxing the shoulders down, head drops down, legs are open wide. Maybe a gentle rocking motion side to side. Last big breath in and out. As we exhale, keeping the legs high, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, slowly finding butterfly pose. Couple of breaths here to finish off. Softening the shoulders for that last breath. And then finally, on your next exhale, releasing the feet, stretching out nice and long, finding your final resting posture, Shavasana. So taking your time, if you have socks you want to put on, if you have a hoodie, a yoga blanket, so make this as comfy as you can. Taking these last few minutes just to rest, sink down into the mat, do a quick scan of your body from the head to the toes, and just being aware if you're holding any tension anywhere, any stress, and just breathing it away. time. Slowly working your way from your Shavasana, bringing your awareness back to your personal space, back to your environment. Maybe finding some movement in the body, the hands and the feet, fingers and the toes. Maybe the head and the neck. And then when you feel ready, slowly rolling your way over to either side, finding that fetal position just for a few breaths. And then when you feel ready, slowly taking your time, working your way back up to a comfortable seated position. And then once you're there, sitting nice and tall, rolling the shoulders back and down, softening the pose, closing your eyes, and just reconnecting with your breath. Slow and relaxed. Hands drop down next to your hips. And then on your next inhale, sweeping all the way up. Hands connect on the exhale, down through heart center. Have a great evening, everyone. Thanks for participating. Namaste. Namaste, Matthew. Namaste. Namaste, Nero.